Well, the political week ended with a shock resignation. Mr Sensible himself, United Future leader Peter Dunne, resigned as a minister after he refused to cooperate with an inquiry into the leak of a GCSB report. The Kitteridge Report was leaked to the Dominion newspaper before its release, and a report was published on April 9th this year. Peter Dunne denies he was behind the leak and has challenged Fairfax to confirm that.
There is no credible explanation I can offer you as to why I acted in that way. The fact is, I did, and as a consequence, I face up to my responsibility that I can no longer credibly serve as a minister. I cannot rationally explain why things happened the way they did.
Dunne refused to release 86 unedited emails to the inquiry. Instead, he handed over 44 edited emails. This is what Prime Minister John Key had to say when he announced Dunne's resignation.
He's told me categorically he didn't leak the report. I want to believe him, but the problem is, unfortunately, the inquiry doesn't rule him out, and I can't dismiss the possibility that he has because of the information contained in the report.
Well, Peter Dunne is Parliament's longest-serving MP. He's been in coalition with both Labour and national governments, and he's been this government's Minister of Revenue, a minister outside of Cabinet. New Zealand First Leader Winston Peters has now referred the leaking of the Kitteridge Report to the police. He says he does not believe Mr Dunne when he says he did not leak the report. Winston Peters joins us now. Good morning, Mr Peters. Thank you for joining us this morning. You've seen an electronic record of the emails. Were they purely professional?
No.
Why weren't they? What did you see that made you...
Well, look, that's all a bit of history now, but the fact is anyone that saw that electronic record and its content had to know that this day was inevitable, that someone was involved in leaking information in a most serious way where national security was concerned, where the GCSB was concerned, not once, more than once, other issues as well as other departmental engagements and appointments made by Cabinet. Now, that's a series of leaks, and at the national security level, it's extraordinarily worrisome and dangerous.
What specifically was unprofessional?
Well, leaking when you are on the Intelligence and Security Committee is seriously not just unprofessional, it is, in some countries, and in fact our country as well, potentially a criminal act.
Was there anything in those emails that was potentially personally embarrassing to Mr Dunne?
Yes.
Can you expand on that?
No, that's immaterial. My only interest was I feared that this inquiry was not being conducted properly. People were not on oath. They were not subject to electronic recording, and that the documentation that I was relying upon wasn't being properly sought. That's why I went public, and a report that was meant to be out at the end of May was delayed by 7 days. I trust that people understand why it was necessary to bring this to the Parliament's attention. It is not political. It's simply to do with, as a former Foreign Minister, how seriously our international partners would regard such actions.
Do you think that that is the reason why Mr Dunne didn't make the emails, the unedited emails, available, because there was personally embarrassing information in them?
Yes.
You're saying this is a breach of national security?
No, it is. I mean, we have two agencies. The Government's Communications and Security Bureau is an agency where we share information with other countries in our national interest to do with things like terrorism and other activities. We're a part of a Five Eyes, that's a 5 countries arrangement, and all I could see was 4 eyes staring hard at us and wondering what was going on in the way the Prime Minister was not taking it seriously, and this was being allowed to go on. There were indications of leaks long time before this. That's what I think the Prime Minister needs to tell us about. And
yet someone has leaked this information to you. So is that not a breach of national security as well? Does that not make you something of a hypocrite?
Well, you've got to be joking. If you think that someone acting improperly as a minister that is threatening national security issues with respect to other countries, and that information coming to, as to the leak, is coming to Member of Parliament as a national security issue, then you've got it all. I'm sure you do. You haven't personally, but it's a perverse way of looking at things. There's no irony here, you know. The fact is, it's demanding privacy when the very thing he was doing was putting the privacy of secure information for the nation's interest at risk.
Should Dunne now resign as an MP?
Of course, that's how serious it is. To think that he can now carry on regardless as an MP as though just giving up his ministerial warrant is enough is frankly to make a mockery of one's parliamentary duties, because he was leaking as a parliamentarian as well, and of a contempt for the standards and principles which we all have to abide by, as difficult as they are.
New Zealand First Leader Winston Peters, thank you.